Hello, friends. It's good to be with you, even if it is through this social media platform. I know that today is St. Patrick's Day, and so I hope that you're wearing a green, even if you are stuck at home. Maybe you can find ways to be able to celebrate and share together in that festivities at home, and find ways to be creative and do that. Today, I wanted to offer a devotion based on the scriptures that Dave and I have selected for this week's prayer guide and study guide. Our scriptures are Psalm 6, which is a pretty mournful psalm, Galatians 6, 1 through 10, and then a passage in Luke. And so I wanted to read this passage for you. It's Luke 10, starting with verse 25. One day, an expert in religious law stood up to test Jesus by asking him this question: "Teacher, what should I do to inherit eternal life?" Jesus replied, "What does the law of Moses say? How do you read it?" The man answered, "You must love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, all your strength, and all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself." "Right," Jesus told him. "Do this and you will live." The man wanted to justify his actions, so he asked Jesus, "And who is my neighbor?" Jesus replied with a story. A Jewish man was traveling on a trip from Jerusalem to Jericho, and he was attacked by bandits. They stripped him of his clothes, beat him up, and left him half dead beside the road. By chance, a priest came along, but when he saw the man lying there, he crossed to the other side of the road and passed him by. A temple assistant walked over and looked at him lying there, but he also passed by on the other side. Then a despised Samaritan came along, and when he saw the man, he felt compassion for him. Going over to him, the Samaritan soothed his wounds with olive oil and wine and bandaged him. Then he put the man on his own donkey and took him to an inn where he took care of him. The next day he handed the innkeeper 2 silver coins, telling him, "Take care of this man. If his bill runs higher than this, I'll pay you the next time I'm here." Now, which of these 3 would you say was a neighbor to the man who was attacked by bandits?" Jesus asked. The man replied, "The one who showed him mercy." Then Jesus said, "Yes, now go and do the same." The interesting thing about this story to me is that the 2 people that you would most expect to stop and help this man, the priest and the Levite, are the ones who end up just walking away. And the one that you would least expect, the Samaritan, is the one who stops and who helps this man who's been attacked by robbers. There's a great scene, and I've told this story before, but there's this great scene in The West Wing, my favorite show. And it's the scene where the White House Chief of Staff, Leo McGarry, is talking to the Deputy Chief of Staff, Josh Lyman. And he tells him the story of a man who falls into a hole. And the walls are so deep, the man can't get out. And then a priest walks by, and the man down in the hole shouts up, "Hey, Father, I'm stuck down here in this hole. Can you help me out?" The priest writes out a prayer, throws it down in the hole, and moves on. Then a doctor comes by, and the man yells up, "Hey, Doc, I'm stuck down here in this hole. Can you help me out?" The doctor writes out a prescription, throws it down in the hole, and moves on. Then a friend walks by, and the guy says, "Hey, Joe, I'm stuck down here in this hole. Can you help me out?" And the friend jumps down in the hole. And the guy says, "What are you, stupid? Now we're both down here." But then the friend says, "Yeah, but I've been down here before, and I know the way out." Our prayer focus today is on our medical and health professionals, lifting those up who are taking care of us, those folks, the Good Samaritans, who put themselves in harm's way, who are around sick people and who go home to their families and take care of them as well. And so we can join together as a community, and we can lift those people up, and we can remember them during this time. It's a time for us not to think of ourselves and think, if I help or if I do something, what will happen to me, which is the question of the priest and the Levite. But the question that we must ask ourselves at this time is, if I don't help this person, what will happen to them? The CDC is asking us to quarantine ourselves, to practice physical distancing from one another. And we don't do that because we are necessarily concerned about ourselves, some of us. Some of us are doing this because we are concerned about what might happen to our neighbors. And so I think that's an important thing that we need to remember. Maybe you don't really think that this is a big deal, that maybe something that you should be practicing, but I think we can be like the Good Samaritan, and we can think of others instead of ourselves. And so maybe that's one way that we can live into this together as a church, as a community, and as a world.